that for me, this faculty development program, so this D, development word is not, I don't accept it, very honestly speaking, because all the fraternity, all the faculties who are into the field of academics for years and years together, how many thousands and thousands of students have been passed through your hands? How many journals, how many publications has been acknowledged by the industry and the academia from your side? With that, I cannot really contribute to academics. And I cannot do a development from the field of academics point of view. But one thing is very clear, that we are going to have a conversation today, which will lay a path befitting to the subject of this conference or this interactive session for 2024, which is 21st century outlook. But it's not 21st century outlook. We are looking for next 1,000 years concept, and how the development should happen in the nation, and how the education system can contribute to that. That will be our outlook. So with this, we will continue our session now. Last 2 years, just briefly, we had a session in same on, I think, 26th of August 2020, 26th of April 2022 was the previous session. So exactly after 2 years, we are having the same date. We are having a session here. In this past 2 years, see, I got connected with all of you. And you know what? In Sanskrit, there very good saying is there. Guru krapa hi vidyafalam shishyasya mati margdarshakah. The teacher's grace is indeed the fruit of knowledge for the student, a guide for the path of intellect. With that journey, which started in year 2022, subsequently, I joined the PhD program at the age of 58, 57 now. Age is not a limit. Knowledge is always open. I have done more than 300 management sessions with different students across the industry and across the countries. And this has given me an encouragement to flow with academia across the globe. And that is what is a strength I'm gaining every time with every interaction. The subject which is right now here, Guru ke 21 moti rashtra ko samarpit. Guru's 21 pearls dedicated to nation is a journey of academia across the country with an historical perspective, and what is required to be done where education becomes a strength for the growth of the nation. That is the concept behind this. Very easy points will be there. Relax, sit back, okay, and just enjoy the session. You know that in supply chain management, there is a very common phenomena called last mile delivery. And that last mile delivery is what exactly? The products comes to your city, warehouses, and like Amazon storehouse, dark storehouse, warehouses, and then they reaches to you directly, or they go to the nearby stores, they delivers to you, or you go and you buy it. Similarly, the last mile delivery is very important because the product is going in the hands of customer. How better you have made it in the production house, but if that product has got damaged during the last mile delivery, the product has no meaning. Take an example when we just go to a fruit vendor and he's selling you the apple. You know what? He takes an apple in hands and he take a tissue and he clean it. I said, sir, how shining it? Just came from the Kashmir. So he is putting his effort to give the last mile delivery perfectly well so that you can come back again. Similarly, our education system and engineering institution and graduation systems, correct? We are the last mile delivery of the students to the industry. We are responsible, our institutions are responsible because they do 9th grade, they do 12th grade, but after our graduations, they are being given to industry. So that is their last mile delivery. So we are responsible for that last mile delivery of our students in the correct formats to the industry so that the industry can fulfill the national objectives. So we carry a big responsibility on our shoulder, and I'm sure the whole academia industry is doing a great about it, but the concept remains same. It's the last mile delivery to the industry. Little going back to an old era, that India used to call Sone ki Chidiya, golden era, correct? Golden era period. What you see in the dotted lines, there are many famous kingdoms were there in India. Cholas, Pallavas, Chalukyas, Pandyans, Palas, many of them, correct? For the period of almost 180, first century to 1700 AD. And what is the outcome of this period, which we call it golden era? It is estimated between 1st century to 1700 century AD. It is India estimated to have had the largest economy of the ancient and medieval world, controlling between 1/3 to 1/4 of the world wealth. So there was a great wealth creation by the India during that period. Definitely the credit may go to the kingdoms at that point of time who were ruling the nation very well, who were having a business outlook and everything. But there is one important and critical point which cannot be overlooked or which cannot be seen in this context. And what is that? There are two pictures on the screen right now. Nalanda University, we all heard of it. It was in existence from 425 to 1205 AD for 780 years. We are talking, nowadays we talk silver jubilee, golden jubilee, diamond jubilee, platinum jubilee, 75 years, the counting stops, century. Here we had the universities which were supporting the Indian education system and the global students also from China, South Korea, South Asia. For 780 years, sustainable educational support to the nation. Takshashila, for 1,000 years, from 600 BC to 400 AD. 1,000 years. Chandragupta Maurya was a student from Takshila. Acharya Chanak has enrolled him in this university. The point which I'm trying to make from the next slide now, that in that 1700 period, economic period, we had the great universities. They were better Ivy Leagues in our country. Takshila, 1,000 years. Nalanda, 780 years. Vallabhi, 600 years. Varmshila, Vikramshila, 403 years. And so on. And in this period, these educational institutions allowed the economic growth to support the economic growth, vision, prospect, future objectives very clearly to the students of that era, who nurtured the country in that era. And the education has a long-lasting impact. Even though majority of the universities, what you see here, they were, by another reason, they were not in existence by 1200 and 1300. But the country still continued making the economic growth because the footprints of educations were remain in the country even 500 years after that. It's an open book, so let me read what the subjects we used to study there. A huge range of the subjects. Philosophy, practice, science and art, metaphysics, a huge long range. And I can keep reading by page. The point here is what I'm trying to make here. The point which I'm trying to make from last two slides is India is writing its growth story. India is writing its growth story. We have our first objective to be a developed nation by 2047. Today, our GDP is around 4 trillion, and we are objecting to reach a 5 trillion and so on. Today, US GDP is around 35 trillion. China is 17, 18 trillion. So what we had before, we have a big gap. So let me come back to the main point again, that we are aiming to be a developed nation by 2047. But what is beyond that? Because we are the most sustainable business model as far as economic growth is concerned, as far as the education system is concerned, we having our own experience. We did not to learn sustainability from the world. We had sustainable performance for 1700 years. And it's not far off. There could be dispute on numbers little here and there, but the fact remains that we had the sustainable performance in the field of economics, in the field of business modeling, supported by a valid, sustainable education system for centuries and centuries. And same responsibility comes on us today also. When the countries aspire to become developed nation and remain a sustainable growth, accelerating growth curve, our education systems need to support the vision of the country. We should align with that. Chandragupta Maurya was registered by Chanakya in Takshila University for this reason only, that he can get a vision to rule the country. So the point here is, we, our education systems, have a vital role to play in the not 50 years, not 25 years, centuries to come together. And let's make a commitment. And let's take, I request one word to all the faculty members. Take the Guru Dakshina from all the students, that the country will be in the same golden era, not for 17 years, for forever now. So that is the importance of educational system in our life patterns and our academia, which is required. And for that, let's see how we move forward. These are all humble submissions, just that what academia, I know you guys are great, really great. You'll be great in that, and the coming generations are contributing very, very strongly into the education system. But there are some collaborations points are there. There are some points are there which we need to be with our future students, present students, to contribute to the nation, and which will add to the sustainable performance of the students in the industry and in general, in totality for the nation. The first point is the Pratham Moti. The first pearl is Guru and codes of ethics and professional conducts. The 4 factors what you see on your screen right now: honesty, fairness, responsibility, respect. These are taught to us from the childhood. They are part of our education system. But they are listed in project management body of knowledge for project management professionals for PMI certifications. The project management body of knowledge has enlisted these 4 parameters as the code of ethics and professional conduct, affirms 4 values as foundation, declared as a foundation. we have to reassure, we have to reconfirm with our students that with these four values which are being taught from the childhood, from our families, our parents, our best teachers, our first teachers, our parents. So these values must propagate in the industry. And because we are responsible for that last mile deliveries, we have to ensure that these parameters are there. Second is one team concept. Individual students will be scaling very high, I know. They will be the best horse in the race. But the time has come not to be an individual speed up, but time has come for collaboration. Be a horse of chariot, Rath ka ghoda, and to pull the national dreams. So the one team concept indicates collaboration, indicates togetherness working. And this is the best opportunity during academia to entrust this responsibility, entrust this concept in the students. One of my posts, which is there available in the LinkedIn, which I wrote about the Bharat energy self-reliance by 2047. That is our self-reliance dream. And by the way, today we are consuming almost 5 billion barrels of oil, and 85% we are importing. So say roughly we are importing 4 billion barrels per day. 4 billion barrels means 40 lakhs barrels per day. We are importing 40 lakhs barrels. I'm not talking in economic terms. And to be a developed nation, this requirement will double in next 20 years. That means we will be needing 80 lakhs barrels, the barrels, 165 liter barrels per day. So either we find the oil in our country, that is point number one, or the energy sources. Already respected Honorable Minister Sir is after that from Nagpur. Hydrogen, green hydrogen, solar, wind. So either we produce that much oil from our land, or we produce that much alternative source, renewable energy source, so that we are become self-reliant in energy, whether it is ethanol, green hydrogen, and what are the things. So I'll just read it for you, for all of you. Bharat energy self-reliance by 2047. Each drop of energy consumed is produced. What we consume, we produce. The Iron Man of India, Shri Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, had united India. This historical milestone can be prudent driver to United India Energy self-reliance business model, as well as foundation for Bade Sankalp of developed nation in Amrit Kal and in top 3 economies of the world. This is not an era of isolated individual approaches. In this context, competition may not be an option over collaboration, as opportunity exists for more than 80% of oil and gas import substitute and scalable energy mix. I'm using the word scalable energy mix, a journey of energy momentum and institutions. The most important thing is there are many private operators are working. I'm just giving an example in the field of oil exploration and production. But those are all individualistic approach. They are all individually working. The time has come to collaborate to work for an energy scenario, energy spectrum. So the collaboration should be an integral part of our academia. One team philosophy. Guru and negotiation skill. Tisra moti. They say that you don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. So negotiation skill is very important to be developed. And in negotiation skill, the most important thing is that setting goals, big objectives is very good. But we must cultivate this culture that from the studenthood itself, we realize realistic milestones. Superficial zones era should be broken. Be realistic, establish realistic expectation, but with the higher goals and objectives in front of you. So, not to demotivate the students, they should not get demotivated because there is a high grade of startup failure was there, and slowly that percentage is declining because the goals kept very high, unrealistic goals were kept without the complete study of business model and business plans. But slowly, that academic support is coming to that point that realistic expectations are being set. So it's always better to establish a realistic expectation that culture should be developed in the students, that they follow the realistic expectation path with complete logical analysis. In our old era institutions, the subject logical analysis was to be taught. The fourth pearl is Guru and P2P. And what is this P2P? The student should be motivated for the purpose of not the person approach, not the individual approach. The approach of purpose is very important. Bigger objectives, everybody is working for the purpose. Because in industries, silos working will be there. But if they are working with a purpose, they will be able to deliver the best product for company which they are working, or if they are working for themselves, they'll be working for a greater purpose. So person is not important, purpose is important. And the second thing is, perception is not important. Problem is important. If you think something about Nitin, perception, but if there is an issue need to be resolved with Nitin, let's meet face to face, resolve the problem. Focus on purpose. So this approach, this will break the approach of working in silos. So the students can be objective towards purpose and problem in place of individual person approach or a perception approach. And that will add a value to their profile to look for a big picture. Guru and empathy versus sympathy. One of the critical parameters for the coming industry era. Empathy should be scalable, not the sympathy. If empathy is there, sympathy is automatically covered. I feel how you feel is an empathy. You realize you wear the shoes of others. And why I'm telling this, all this concept, because we are talking of scalability. We are talking of growth curve. See, in this scalability, in this blind race, correct? Sometimes it makes blind. I will not say the complete, I'm sorry for that word blind race, but it virtually sometimes becomes blind race. But because of this, the sustainability comes at stake and sustainability comes at risk. So these features, these properties must be there to have a sustainable business model for a long duration. Competition can be there, there's no doubt in that, but collaborative competition will bring the whole energy, synergy to a greater level where everybody is contributing to the nation. Everybody is contributing to a greater cause. And none other than academia can put these thoughts in the brain while they are with us. To understand the other's perspective and needs. The day we start thinking that, majority of the litigation will drop. We are not here for litigation. We are here for collaboration. So that's a philosophy need to be dropped in with a parachute objective. I forgot to share with you guys that, all of you, that I have a YouTube channel also, where I'm putting a lot of project management, entrepreneurship, supply chain management, motivational speeches. And even I'm participating with, recently I was in Ahmedabad. So I have participated in one of the faculty development program with the Blind Man Association, Blind Man People's Association of Ahmedabad, where I interacted with more than 55 teachers who are dealing with multiple disabilities. And I learn a lot from them. Even though I went there as a motivational speaker, but I learned a lot from them. This particular topic, why I'm touching that point right now, is that Let's Speak is one of my mission, my personal mission, and I'm populating this a lot, that there are many students, there are in the industry, first of all, I'll go to industry, then I'll come back to students. In the industry, I see a couple of gentlemen, they're having a great knowledge, but they're not speaking. They are not putting forward their thoughts. They are shy in speaking. It could be language restriction, it could be some fear, or anything, any XYZ reasons are there. But I want to motivate those who can contribute a great. But I don't want that knowledge, that treasure to go with them. No, the treasure from them should be brought to the community and society. So for this Let's Speak session I have, at this session I conduct free of cost. You all are more than welcome. It's maybe a 2-hour session, 1 hour, where I deal with this kind of deliberations in detail about the Let's Speak concept, to motivate the gentlemen who are shy in speaking, or for any XYZ reason they are not speaking. So it's a complete module. I'll be more than happy to contribute as per your requirements. And the driver, I'm just giving a glimpse of this module. Wish I could be extraordinary speaker like him. Wish I could presentation skills like her. Wish I could lead like him. Wish I could. So that is something which is, Let's Speak is very important. And in academia also, we can contribute, we can identify the students who are shy in speaking, and we can motivate them to put their ideas by participative management. So that's why it's a very important phenomena, need to be seen and need to be addressed in coming era. Next pearl is Guru and Adhocracy type organization structure. In management, you have a different type of organizational structure, vertical, horizontal, matrix, and thing. But one of the structure, which is Adhocracy, the benefit of this structure, you may have vertical, horizontal, that's a different issue. But the most important thing is the information flows in all directions in the organization. And this must be cultivated when they are in academics. I've used the word silos. No. If the information is floating in the common platform in the organization or in your own startup, this will be of great help. This is of the great help to everyone in organization, and in turn, organization grows. So sharing, caring, sharing the information at right time. Information will be shared, but if the information is shared after 3 days and when it was needed yesterday, has no meaning. So this concept is required to be cultivated at a greater stage with the concept of adhocracy, configuration of organization. The basic purpose is, you call it by any names, but the most important thing is information is shared flawlessly without any curtains. That's the concept need to be developed. There are many certifications available. Lean Six Sigma, Agile, many names will be coming up. Okay. Point here is that I'm not here talking right now about the Lean Six Sigma certifications or industry applications. No, I'm not talking that. The point which I'm trying to make here is the habit of the basic fundamental concept of avoiding the waste, implementing 5 Rs in our culture, and doing the job so that we have minimum defects. So lean is reducing the waste basically in process, streamlining the process, and Six Sigma is reducing your defect. So the Lean Six Sigma is that approach. When you do certification program, there are different modules you can read. That's a different issue. That's not my point right now. My point here is this habit of this culture of avoiding the waste. It is a part of our culture, our old historical culture. We don't take more than what we need. That itself is avoiding the waste. We try to avoid the waste even during manufacturing. We try to do our job correctly. So this approach, if comes in the culture, automatically, whether the company where they're going to work, it has a Lean Six Sigma approach or not, that's a different issue. But they are practicing it, what is expected from Lean Six Sigma. So Lean Six Sigma is just a name. The objective is to avoid the wastage and do your job correctly so that you don't create more defects and in turn more waste. So that's the concept. Ninth pearl is Guru and Agile Approach. Agile Approach, if I say like doing a job, basically this Agile Approach started with software industries, medical industries, mainly software industries. Okay. The idea is that we do a job in small pieces and we deliver the output to the customer at small stages, not waiting for 1 year and then giving him the concept. By that, you know what happened? The client, means the buyer and seller, they collaborate with each other and they enhance their performance, their relationship. So they become a sustainable business model. So this is a point where I will do at the end of year, okay? Or we'll do a job in one go. Better they start adopting a small step approach to complete the job. And for that, I have tried to just understanding concept slide, I have done it. If you are standing in a jungle and you have to cross that jungle because other side is in the morning, 4 o'clock or 4:30, there's a great sea beach where you are going to see a great view of a sunrise. So you have to cross the jungle in the night. And there is a dark. So there is one easy approach as usual, business as usual, that don't go. But you are missing that. You are missing that opportunity to see that sunrise. So what is the second objective? Second methodology? Go slow in small steps. Take small steps. Don't think the complete length of the jungle 10 kilometers in one go. Try to cover 100 meter, 50 meter like this. That is an option B. But when you adopt that option B, you know what? After some times, your eyes become acquainted to that darkness of the jungle and your visibility increases. And you're able to see the better way in that darkness. And what happened virtually? You start running. So the approach of working in small steps, generating the result in the small steps is very important. And if you are able to add that feature, if you are able to cultivate that point, that is really great. 10th pearl is गुरु एंड 21वीं सदी में आत्मनिर्भरता से परे. Guru and beyond self-reliance in 21st century. I just touched upon this topic before, that we are looking for 2047 self-reliance, that is one good thing. That is the first milestone. But after that, sustainability, right now is a growth. And growth will continue, scalability will continue. But sustainability will also continue, and we have a track record of sustainability. So the most important is that we do a sustainable objective work. 21st century is an era of self-reliance, growth, scale, sustained among talk economics. Lead. So that is the concept. Self-reliance is the first objective by energy mix. Whatever energy mix we comes out, but that is an energy mix. Industrial growth, we are ranking. These are the numbers from internet, okay? In import-export, there is a number. In defense also, there are numbers of export. Agriculture also. Agriculture, I'm going to talk separately. And there will be an infrastructure growth. Rail and rail network. Huge road and rail network are required still for this connectivity to have impactful supply chain. So the development and then subsequent growth is of high scale, is a need of ours. So the plan is, first milestone is 2047 to self-reliance, but beyond that, growth and scale is an objective, and sustainability. Because we have to achieve those objectives for everyone in the nation. So there we have a big scope to do that. So our boundaries are beyond 2047 for centuries to come. And as an academician, it becomes our responsibility to support all this concept, percolate this concept in the academia environment. This one I shared in my FDP 2022 also, that Guru and Learn to Share. It's the era which is coming right now, is an era where asset creation may be more capital intensive, but asset sharing is going a concept. Probably this electrical vehicle will make your last mile delivery so cheap in the city. Even the Costa, Starbucks, and many more giants, coffee giants, tea giants, restaurants, they will come on wheels. They literally will come on the wheels. And that will be cheaper model. There will be app. Somebody is delivering to you coffee immediately at your doorstep. Cloud kitchens have already started. Moving restaurants. So the meaning here is, try to percolate. We have to percolate this concept in our students, that don't think that a business is a big capital intensive work. There are alternative mechanism available, cooperative mechanism available to reduce the investment cost and to develop, to grow an industrial growth. And why I'm telling this, I'm capturing one point from our last FDP 2022, wherein I have presented one statistics that the unemployment rate across the world is going to increase by 2050 because of AI and whatever you want to say. The world may be having an unemployment rate of 21%. India estimated 19%. So we are below the world average. But still, from 7%, 5%, 7%, 8%, 20% is a big number. So the entrepreneurship concept, supply chain management concept need to be there among our fraternity, our students, so that we grow in our industrial growth. Not looking always for employment, creating an opportunity for employment, creating a business opportunity for employment. So that's why creating more entrepreneurs is also, we as an academia, we as an academic institute, becomes our responsibility to cultivate that business models in our students. This slide was also last year, okay, and last FDP, but I want to still show this slide because it is linked to the previous two slides, okay. We take great privilege in telling that a lot of world global companies are having the the CEOs, they are from Indian or they are from Indian origin. We take this privilege and we all feel very pride about it. Okay. But they are CEOs of a global company. Just one disruption is required, and which we have to put a thought that we make an Indian company with global brand and Indian CEO for sure. So this is a disruption I'm looking for, an academic fabric of this nation. A strong teacher is the foundation of strong nation. And that's why I opened my session with the historical era. And it is not far off. It was just some 2000 years old. Statistics, I took it, and sustainable statistics, I took it. So that we all know, I'm not denying, we all know. I have not shown something new, but there is a great correlation between sustainability of economic of the country versus education system, and how education system has supported that. Agriculture, I'm going to speak, and I really need a great support from the faculties on this aspect. We all know that my 13th point is Guru and Industry 4.0 versus Agriculture 2.0. If I go to the next slide, we all know about Industry 1.0, Industry 2.0, Industry 3.0, Industry 4.0. I did not to explain anything about it. Started with steam engine, then electrical, then little automation in Industry 3.0. Then Industry 4.0 is a 2011 when we started with more internet applications, more industrial revolution with cyber, and basically internet application based system. Big data, IoT, blockchain, keep taking the names, okay? Probably Industry 4.0 will have another version, Industry either 4.1 or maybe Industry 5.0, which will be more with AI, okay? But point is not this. This is the field where huge knowledge is being invested. Huge academia has been invested. My point is not industry. My point is agriculture. And I'm going to next slide now. Agriculture 1.0, very clear. Agriculture 2.0 with some mechanization. Agriculture 3.0 and Agriculture 4.0. By picture itself, it is clearly visible that we are in majority in Agriculture 2.0. So there is a gap between industrial growth versus agriculture growth in India. And it's a high time for us to look for the great business opportunity in agriculture. And especially my research work I'm doing is, it is in the field of supply chain management in agriculture, focusing on waste management across the supply chain of agriculture. So there is a great infrastructure growth is required. There are 80 to 85% farmers in India are small or marginal farmers holding 1 acre of land. It is difficult for them to own their own equipment and own gadgets. Forget AI technology, forget electronics. I'm just talking of little mechanical equipment. They are renting it out. So the big cooperative giants, Big, see, if any problem is there, we immediately rush to the pathological lab, correct? And we get our blood sample tested. Are we doing that frequently our soil? I'm not telling, the government is moving very high level. They have a big thoughts to support farmers. But what I'm trying to make a point here, as an academia, as a student stream handling, it becomes our responsibility to invest our focus on the agriculture growth also in the country with cooperative movement, with building up. Like, for example, a simple thing I'll tell you, in industry, if I have to measure a temperature or I have to measure a humidity, we have a lot of sensors available. We'll go and we'll measure it. And they're giving online into the control room. But in agriculture farms, I don't have the humidity measurement in soil. And because of that, farmers are flooding their fields with water for harvesting, for growth of the plant. There was a business model study has been done in Orissa. They called it small farmers, large field. And in that, what they did, they assembled, they allowed all the farmers to come together and work as a big field. And they got some 100 acres of land together. So they could able to negotiate fertilizer purchase properly. They could able to negotiate seed purchase properly. They could able to bring the good machinery to take as a one field objective. And they could able to negotiate well the products. And they say that they reduce the cost of production by half. And it is very clear. It's era of collaboration. Individual farmers and the collaborative efforts, they say that investment is reduced by half. So the time has come for us to really look into the agriculture growth from the technology perspective. Recently, that drone Didi concept, and there are many concepts. I'm going to discuss them in the next slide also. But the point here is the what I say, the interest in the academics, interest in the students, that let's do our business. If you are from an agriculture background, motivate them to scale that business, because we are not importing very great. By the way, we are importing also, but we are exporting also in agriculture. But that is not something very great. There is a huge potential available in country to export the great agriculture products by scalable growth of that sector. So we have an opportunity to, in agriculture field, to migrate to agriculture 3.0 and agriculture 4.0. And with a given point of time, there is a movement of farmers who don't want to be a farmer. That culture exists. So retention of human beings there, creating more interest about agriculture is also academic support is needed in this area. That was comparison with industry and agriculture growth, just to depict that where we are. And in the agriculture field, the government of India has focused on doubling the farmers' income. And there are serious steps taken in this direction, including even supply chain. They are building a lot of cold houses, cold storage houses, warehouses. There are many infrastructures are being built. Rural village roads, rural roads are being also developed a lot. The objective is reduction in cost of production, increasing the crop productivity, increasing the crop intensity, how many times you can take another crop from the field, and diversifying towards high value crops so that you can realize the export value for that product. So these are the concepts which need to be in the field of agriculture, need to be grown and need to be addressed from the point of view of getting into the Pandrava Moti, 15th pole, Guru and supply chain management. Supply chain management is an era. Meaning is the production, what you're doing, it's a great job. but to bring the right raw material to you and take the product from you and then deal with the whole world. That is supply chain in a broader aspect. Even production house will get an information from the supply chain that this time the forecast is telling you have to produce 10% extra. So the supply chain is an era. Our students must be worthy to supply chain management. They are befitting for the purpose of supply chain management. And huge intervention of technology is expected, still to grow, still to scale, but yes, there's a big opportunity. And it will be an integrated supply chain, starting from raw material, if it is a food grain industry, raw material production in the agriculture fields to the production, creating a value product. This is a total overall scenario. There are concepts, and I'm just reflecting one concept here about that. There are 6-party logistic concept is there, where the 5-party logistics means the manufacturing, logistic companies, packaging, warehousing, transportation, marketing, everything is dealt by the specialized supply chain agencies or the supply chain management stream in the organization. But in the time to come, AI is upcoming in this field, and AI is giving an outlook still yet to come to the scale. It's the future objective, moving slowly, but AI will add a great value extension to the supply chain, where the monitoring, online monitoring, inventory carry forward, all the aspects of supply chain are being controlled, will be controlled, or will be monitored first of all by the AI and will be processed through the AI. So that's why supply chain management application of AI and supply chain business model itself will be an era of future. Because when you talk of growth story, when you talk of scalability, it's not possible without supply chain. You cannot, if you don't have an improvised logistics under the umbrella of supply chain, you cannot ensure reaching the right product at right time. And not at one place, it is going to be across the globe. So that's why the supply chain management is going to be in a new era. Not new era, it was there before also, but it is having a scalable support to the growth story. There are some points, like when we jumped into the industry, correct? We were very efficient. Boss says to do something, we'll do it in 1 minute. Okay, sir, we'll try to do it, correct? But slowly we realize, and this concept comes slowly, that efficiency is good, but effectiveness is more important or equally important. If I do some job, okay, if I have to produce something on a production platform and I'm producing it 100% correctly, but I just missed the opportunity to understand that today the production would have been to change from the type A to type B product, and I just efficiently I produced it. It could be called as a negligence or something like that, but I should be effective also. Means I should take a logical decision. We should be able to take a logical decision whether it is required to be done today or not. So the effectiveness of our services is also equally important, and that effectiveness concept is great if it is cultivated at the academia level itself. Like when you just suddenly jump to the industry, you thought that you will conquer the world. That phenomena is there. But slowly, let's understand, do an effective job also, which is fit for the purpose. Efficiency is always not fit for the purpose. Efficiencies belong to machine. Okay, but effectiveness belongs to human beings. So that concept needs to be nurtured in our students. Concept of planning. This must also be considered in our academic section. They may belong to management side, it's fine, no problems. But there is nothing called engineering alone. This is an engineering management concept now in the industry. Management of engineering. So the planning, let them plan the activities. 1 minute of planning can save 10 minutes of your efforts. You may have 5 minutes of efforts. Any number can be there, but this is fact. The picture what you see right now on the screen is from 1940 in the Toyota, Japan. They used to plan the things. They used to have a 3 trays with stickers to do ongoing and completed. When ongoing is completed, job is completed, the sticker moves to the completed task. Simple stickers of the activities. So the most important is planning is very critical in our business modeling, in our industry modeling. So that's why this concept must flow with the things. Second thing, which is very important, the perfection should be controlled. That objective, like when you're young, so correct, the feeling comes, okay, I do the very perfectly, very meticulously, correct? I will do it perfectly, so I get 100% mark. But what, just for example, what you see in the picture right now, this man, that road markers, he's just making a proper edges for that. And because of him, this road could not be put in operation for 3 months. So there is an economy loss for the country. The meaning is that perfectionist approach should be properly dealt at the academia level, so that when they go to industry, they are able to understand when the perfection need to be used and when it should not be used. So this is just an aspect of this, because this could reach unreachable goals. This is one of the reasons for startups also. Failure to start or a constant pressure to be a perfect. But when it is not required to be perfect, why? You will be producing the future supply chain managers. The academia will be producing the future project managers, portfolio managers, asset managers. They will be of great skill. They will do big projects, big refinery projects, big township projects, big 1,000-kilometer road projects, big pipeline projects in given cost, given time, and given schedule. But of course, project management takes care for the aspect which I'm telling, but that need to be cultured from right now. That completing the project is one good achievement of a project manager, which he should have it primarily. There's no denial. But at the same time, the business which you are doing, is it worth doing? Say, for simple example, you have built a plant for a particular value downstream in oil industry, a particular product, value-added product you are producing, and the plant built up for 2 billion. And after 4 years, it comes to know that, as per the medical councils, that the product which you are creating is having a cancerous impact in long run. Your 2 billion investment sinks. The meaning here is a global outlook, a 30,000 feet outlook before getting into the thing, evaluating it from the long perspectives, must be cultivated. That just don't be an objective driven. If you see a dart, it does not mean that you always put a dart in the black central portion. Probably there is a glass crockery behind it and you're going to break that glass crockery. So look for that glass crockery which you're going to break unintentionally or because of unknowingly. So the most important point is that the vision outlook should see the changing market scenarios and essentially required for sustainability. I'm sorry, I'm slightly suffering with cold, so my voice is also bad for that. But we are talking a lot about artificial intelligence. And we all know that is inevitable. So we are talking that. But there is an aspect, and this is a great opportunity for me to share my thoughts with all of you, because you are the best judge for this. I wrote a post on this internet also about it, that human creativity and artificial intelligence. I will read it first, then I will put my thoughts. What I'm requesting and humble submission to the all the fraternity and faculties. Human creativity and asset of mankind and soul, reason where we are today. If the human creativity would not have been there, we would have not been in this stage. It is the human creativity, human brain who has brought to this stage us today. And that is only sole reason. Huh? So similarly, like work-life balance, now you'll say AI cannot be avoided. Okay. But there should be an AI human creativity balance should be established. Human creativity is guided by, I'm reading it, sustainable inclusiveness of experiences, emotions, and imaginations. Please, I'm going to upload this video after this session on my YouTube channel, so you'll get everything on the channel. So I'll just, the information will be available. Human creativity is guided by sustainable inclusiveness of experiences, emotions, imaginations, and keep excelling through new ideas generated. Let us learn by doing it time and again in every field of life. We keep learning, we keep doing it, and we keep learning it. It involves experience, emotions, imaginations, excelling or correcting own mistakes. Then I'm writing a paragraph. Let us talk about an earlier era of invention of IC engine. By the way, I own this, my thoughts. You guys can judge it. I may be wrong also. So I have no, but these are my thoughts which I want to purely put forward. Let us talk about an earlier era of invention of internal combustion engine led to automatic transportation system and other inventions of mechanization, car, aeroplane, this thing, correct? Has cumulatively reduced the human physical efforts and increased the human health issues up to a certain extent. In our villages, in our town, we used to walk, we used to cycle afterwards. But nowadays, scooter, four-wheelers, we are just riding, but even for small things, we are walking. This has been realized lately, and humans have started resuming the physical efforts for good health. Treadmill has come. Even we have selected a machine for that. But, okay, at least we understood that physical efforts are very important. Do physical exercise. Don't ride always a four-wheeler and two-wheelers. Similarly, it is critical time to understand long-run AI impact on human creativity. Only natural source, I'm talking human creativity, only natural source of continuous innovation since existence of our planet. Natural source. Human creativity is a natural source since our existence on the planet. Without continuous use of human brain is developing, reviewing, thinking, and analyzing, the brain capabilities may descale due to idling. See, if the car came, your physical efforts have reduced. You became more fatty. Okay, there are blood pressure, sugar, other medical problems started, but you are walking, you are controlling it. But if the brain start idling, if brain is not using, see, the natural resource of growth is getting impacted. Considering the AI-human life interface, human creativity calls for its preservation as is. I'm not telling, don't go for AI. I'm telling, let's establish an AI-human life interface. Human creativity calls for its preservation. At least human creativity should be preserved as is. While continuing the scaling of AI, you continue to keep scaling on AI. No issues. But preserve your originality of human creativity. And this is a future generation outlook. And I'm giving a simple example from the industry. In our plants, when we are doing an engineering for our plants, the P&IDs, piping and instrumentation drawings are developed. Believe me, whenever we make similar plant in future, we copy it first. And then we review it. We modify that drawing fit for purpose for that new plant. Collaborative effort happens. We discuss that in details, correct? Majority, the drawings are accepted, but there are some minor changes comes. Oh, in that plant, it happened like this. So let's make a modification here. So the human creativity, human brains are analyzing the situations, comparing huge database, personal experiences, and the new addition is put into that. My question is, if AI start doing that job, the humans which collaborate on those particular points. This was just an example, may not be befitting example, but that is my understanding about this. That growth of human brains, which every time discuss new scenarios, adopting old scenario in the new regime, but with still human creativity comes into the picture, they realize fit for purpose analysis. So this keeps human creativity growing, evolving. So that is my point. How to balance among the students, how to communicate to the students. My humble submission to all the faculties, I leave it up to you. But I have this point about AI human creativity balance. I have a concern on that. I have my point on that. In the university's name, which I took in those 1700 centuries before, they used to teach metaphysics also, one of the branch of the philosophy. So engineers should not be only a mechanized thinking process. The philosophy should also be part of our engineering curriculum. It may be there, I'm not exactly aware, but during my period, I have not studied it. Might be included now. And the one simple example, okay, I'm not teaching, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to put forward my point. That's why I'm giving an example. I know these examples will be well aware by all of you. So sorry for that. Electron is in outer orbit, okay? Proton and neutron is in inner orbit. The philosopher question comes, who put proton and neutron in the nucleus? Why not proton has been put in the orbit and keep revolving or keep rotating? So the point here is the engineering curriculum, our engineering students, academia should have an objective of philosophy also into it, because we are going to rewrite the story of creation. In those universities, logic sciences was a subject to study. Logic sciences, highly correlating with philosophy. And one of the origin of logic, one of the branch of the philosophy which always challenges why it is like this. So there was a logical science, logical reasoning was a subject in those universities centuries before. So the philosophy can be definitely a part of curriculum. I'm at the point which is called 21st point, 21वां मोती, गुरु एवं ज्ञान की भाषा, language of knowledge. And I have a view on this actually, which I want to submit humbly. That if the technological knowledge, if the technological know-how can reach to a student who is in Madhya Pradesh in Hindi language, if it reaches to a student in Tamil Nadu, in the deep village of Tamil Nadu in Tamil language, the knowledge is important or language is important? In our agriculture field, huge growth is required. And without technological intervention, that is not possible. Probably there are fears about the languages. So I am putting a perspective in this case. I prefer any language which can be considered as a language of knowledge, which can be portable, which can able to transfer the knowledge easily. If in village they are not able to understand English, so English is not my perspective. Knowledge is my perspective. So the education system, and in fact nowadays what I was hearing on the TV, that the Prime Minister's speeches, they are with the help of AI, they are converting into the multiple different languages also. So the language of knowledge is important to be cultivated, to be spread across, so that we reach out to more and more. In the future, in the coming era, what I see now, educational boundaries will not be limited to the institutional premises. The education will go to doorsteps. Distance learning with the help of AIs and with the help of media will reach to individuals. So at that time, who will adopt the language of knowledge, he will reach more broadly to individuals. So it's the right time for us to seriously acknowledge this point, that we spread the knowledge which can be understood in their own languages, not restricted to one language. And already Government of India has started in the regional languages, they started the institutions, and in Madhya Pradesh government also started it. But what I'm trying to make a point here, this is an era for language of knowledge, not a specific language in engineering. No, no, no. Because I know my personal experience, first 6 months up to 12th, up to 11th grade, at that time I was 11th grade, I studied in Hindi medium. When I went to engineering college, it was 5-year engineering in Vidisha. So the first 6 months was difficult for me to adopt the language. But what I'm trying to make a point here, if that difficulties, because I was in the put to campus, okay, so I have no alternative. I have to read it and I have to survive it. I have to get through it. Correct. But if the same time, if the students who are in villages, they are not coming, in that scenario, probably the scenarios can be more better in that scenario, so that we can read the language of knowledge, reach the language of knowledge. I'm at the concluding session of this. We are just concluding the presentation now. One is a Kumhar, potter, and one is a Lohar, blacksmith. They are doing their job and they are contributing to the great extent to our economics since long. There's no doubt about it. But how many of us we know really the name by name to them? Even the person who is in our vicinity, does we know him? Maybe he's very famous, so we know his name. But if I just go to the next concept, all the names, they are from academics. They have contributed to academics and they are in our, they have a strong footprint on our brain. And their contribution is clearly visible to the society in the era. So our footprints, academic footprints, are of the greater extent to build up the nation, to build up the future of the nation. And with this, I must say, wish you all the best. Thank you for arranging this FDP 2024. And I wish you all the best for upcoming sessions and a successful conclusion, a missionful conclusion, and a great takeaway successful from this session to all the faculties and for all the organizers. Thank you very much. With this, I'll conclude my session, and over to you, ma'am, please.
Participants, if you have any questions, please share them in the chat box. Participants, if you have any questions, please share it in the chat box. Okay, I think we can conclude here. My sincere thanks for your exceptional presentation, sir. Your insights
Thank
and
you.
expertise made a significant impact, and we are grateful for your contribution. Thank you again for sharing your knowledge and wisdom and making this session a success. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. I accept very happily and with humbly, I accept the acknowledgement. Thank you very much. Should I leave the meeting now, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.